Hey, Car, you okay to text, man?
Hey, Rob. Yeah, sure. I'm taking the subway downtown. No problem using line. What's up?
Is your wife Sarah with you?
No. I have to meet up with a friend. I think Sarah's already finished her part-time job. She should be home about now.
Okay, got it, so we can continue then.
What's up, Rob? You sound kind of serious. Something wrong?
Listen carefully. Don't lose your cool or anything.
Yeah. Okay.
I know how to say this, so I'm just gonna give it to you straight. Sarah's cheating on you.
Excuse me? Cheating?
The other day, I saw her heading toward a hotel with some guy. They were holding hands.
Right. Are you sure?
Yeah, sorry, but I had to say something. You're my best friend, after all.
I appreciate it, Rob, but actually, I already know.
Huh, really?
I kind of feel weird telling you this, but I asked this agency to look into it. A private investigator. I had to check it out. I wanted to get a bit more info and, make sure it was true. I was going to call you after that, maybe get your advice and all. Sorry to worry you, man.
I see, okay then. Well, that's great. Well, not great, but you know what I mean. At least something is happening.
Yeah, so I may be calling on you later to hear my grievances and such. Hope you don't mind.
For sure, man. I'm there for you.
Thanks, Rob. You don't know how much that means to me.
Hey, Carl, are you busy?
Hey, Sarah, what's up?
Are you working overtime today by any chance?
Why do you ask?
Yeah, I was wondering if we could spend the evening together. And later.
What's this about all of a sudden?
It's just that we haven't, it's been a while since we are married. I figured since it's been a while, we could have a little fun tonight, that's all.
I hate to tell you this, but yeah, overtime. End of the month and all. Probably be pretty late tonight. Sorry.
But I thought you just concluded that big project you were working on.
Yeah, that's all done, but some trouble came out of our New York office, and I have to deal with it. May take some time.
I see. Well then.
Oh, sorry, Sarah. My boss is calling me. Better get back to work. Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, Rob, you there? Hey, man, we need to talk. Getting my shivers up my spine. I can't take this.
What are you talking about, buddy?
She just called, and you know what she said? She was suggesting we sleep together tonight. Can you believe it?
Really? You're talking about your wife, right?
Of course. I mean, I found out she's seen some new guy, probably sleeping with him, no doubt, and she asked me if I want to, do the deed tonight. Really? Makes you sick to my stomach.
Calm down, Carl. Kinda weird asking you this, but how long has it been since you guys last, together?
We're not sure. Was pretty busy with the project at work. I guess it must have been like 4 or 5 months. So when she said she wanted to, do the deed, gave me the creeps.
Take it easy, Carl. Don't get all worked up, man. You know what? This might mean that Sarah is pregnant with this guy's kid.
Why would you think that?
Maybe she's thinking she could raise as a kid of yours. You never know unless you do DNA tests, of course. Maybe that's your little ploy.
Yeah, you might be onto something there, Rob.
Mind you, this is all just an assumption. If I upset you, I'm sorry.
No problem. Now that you say that, I get what you mean, and I don't feel so bad about it anymore.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, you always gave it to me straight. I need that now. Clears my head. Thanks. I'll ask the investigation agency to put that little fact in their search.
Yeah, might be a good idea. You never know.
All right, Rob. Thanks for that, man. If there's anything that you noticed, let me know.
For sure. That's what I'm here for.
Hey, Carl, you there? I can't stand this any longer. It's been 1 week that we've been apart. I'm getting kinda lonely. Come on. Tonight for sure, right?
Sorry, have to stay overnight tonight.
Huh? Seriously?
Yeah, that trouble we had last week, it's still not resolved. Can't get home until he works something out. Sorry. Even my boss is in a panic. This could even bring down the company. We just can't seem to come to an agreement. I have no option but to stay as long as needed and work this problem out.
Really? All right. I guess there's nothing you can...
Sorry, gotta go. Gotta get to the root of the problem.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Hey, Rob, you there? I got the investigation report back from the agency.
Oh yeah, what's it say?
Apparently, they have a recording of Sarah talking to her boyfriend about her being pregnant. The content seemed to be a conversation they're having on how they could force the kid on me, making me to be the father. You were right, it seems. The way she was always urging me to come home early for a late night romp, it was all part of the plan. Actually, she's like trying to lure me in almost every night. I've been making up various reasons for not coming home. Working overtime, flying to New York, all that. I can see she's really getting frustrated that her little scheme isn't working out.
I see, yeah. Gotta do something about it soon. You're not gonna be able to hold it off forever. So, what are you gonna do going forward?
Well, actually, I went to see my in-laws yesterday.
Oh yeah, did you tell them about this?
Yeah, I showed them all the evidence and told them all I know about the situation. That's when they made a suggestion.
What suggestion?
Well, they suggested that I completely ignore her until the child is born.
You're just gonna ignore her? For what, like 6 months?
Yeah, they said that knowing Sarah's character, if she finds out that I know, she may have to take matters into her own hands. You know, take drastic measures.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, to them the child will be their first grandchild. They've been waiting a long time to see their grandchild. It's not the child's fault after all, right? They said they don't want to jeopardize a precious life.
Yeah, I can understand how they feel.
But they know I don't want to be with her until then, so I made up the story where I had to go off on a business trip to handle an urgent matter in New York, which would probably take months to resolve. As for Sarah, I'll have her stay with her folks until I can resolve things in New York.
I see, yeah.
Oh no, I just got a line message from Sarah. Gotta go. Probably wants you to come home tonight for sure. You know what? I'll keep you in the loop, Rob. Thanks for everything.
Alrighty, take care.
Hey, Carl, what is this? Are you avoiding me? Don't tell me you're going to be late again tonight. You have to come home tonight. We're sharing a bed. I won't take no for an answer this time, Carl.
I'm really sorry, Sarah. I have to go on an urgent trip to New York. That problem just won't go away.
Excuse me? This is a joke, right?
No, no joke. The problem we had since last week, you remember well. It just got worse. Can't do anything from here, so I've been asked to handle it personally, so I'm off to New York to deal with it in person. I probably won't be back for a few months.
Huh? A few months? Seriously?
Yeah, I was shocked too. I talked to your mom and dad about it, and they suggested that you come and stay with them while I'm gone. What do you say?
Huh? You spoke to my folks already.
Yeah, I happened to call them. You know, about the Christmas gathering, and we got to talking, and I mentioned my trip, and they offered to have you stay with them. I think it's a good idea, don't you?
Oh, yeah, but this is all kind of weird. Carl, are you there? I feel a little uneasy telling you this, but I think I'm pregnant. Actually, I'm glad I came back home to my folks' place. I was trying to remember when we actually, did it. We probably did it one night after a hard day's work. You were half asleep, as I recall. Anyway, are you still working on that problem? Anyway, contact me as soon as you're free. Dad? Hey, Carl, why don't you contact me? Your baby is really growing inside of me, healthy as ever. Please send me a message when you have time. We feel so lonely without you. Carl, are you there? Why do you keep ignoring me? What's up? You haven't even contacted me once, and you call yourself a father? Please, a little message will do. I'm glad I was able to come to my folks' place so I can handle being alone, but come on. You're going to be a father. This is for the rest of your life. I think it would be a good idea to see me with child as much as possible. You'll regret it later.
Whoa, it's getting pretty unbearable. I can't take it anymore, Rob.
Hey, Carl, what's so unbearable?
It's about Sarah.
Yeah, right. Go ahead, let's hear it.
Sorry, had to talk to somebody. Thanks for being here for me, man. She contacted me saying I should have a little more awareness that I'm going to be a father. Can you believe it?
Oh, yeah? Man, that must be hard on you. I wonder if she's still seeing this guy. She's been at your folks' place this whole time, right?
No, doesn't look like it. I'm not sure if it's because she was at her folks' place who kept a close eye on her, but it looks like they broke up. Which puts me in a tougher spot. Now she's determined to make me the father.
Oh, man. Women can be pretty intimidating. Isn't she getting suspicious that you're completely ignoring her?
Nah, her folks are in on it and they're handling it well. You know, telling her that I'm busy with work and all. Her father's company's a major client of ours, so he's able to back me up, making up all kinds of stories to keep her satisfied.
Hey, Carl, how are ya? My belly is huge now. I wish you could see it. And you have to feel the baby moving around inside. It's fantastic. I know you're busy and Dad explained the situation to me, but I sure would like to talk to you, even a little. Even a short text message at least. Oh, yeah. Maybe you didn't want to know, but I can't keep it to myself anymore. It's a boy. I remember you saying you'd love to play baseball with him if we had a boy. Remember that? Your wish has come true. Bet you can't wait to see him. I just hope this whole problem you're dealing with in New York gets resolved. Carl, you there? The big day is almost here. Boy! My tummy is huge. It's hard as getting around. Really wish you were here, Carl. I mean, emotionally. It would be such a huge relief if you were by my side. You know, I really want to know. You are going to be by my side when the day comes, right? You do want to see your son when he comes into this world. I mean, what father wouldn't? Could you just tell me if you'll be here or not? I haven't been able to see you once while I've been pregnant, so I hope you can at least make it to the most important day of our lives. Maybe seeing your son being born will really wake you up. You'll finally come to the realization that you're Dad. Carl, what is this? You're asking for compensation right after I give birth? What is this?
Hey, Sarah. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Carl, finally! Where the hell have you been? And what the hell is this about compensation? For what?
First off, congratulations on your baby.
Yeah, well...
But you know what? I'm afraid I really can't be a father.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Come on, Sarah. Ask yourself why I demanded compensation. I'm sure you know full well. I was aware that you were cheating on me way before you got pregnant. So there's no use denying it, Sarah. I'm perfectly aware that the kid, the little boy you're probably holding in your arms right now, that he's this guy's kid and not mine. In addition, I had your boyfriend pay me for wrecking our marriage, just so you know.
You're not serious. So the past 7 months you...
For me, it was sort of preparation for getting a divorce, but regarding the circumstances of why you're even in this situation and why we pretended we didn't know, ask your mom and dad about that, they'll explain. All I did was, as your dad told me, and get ready for divorce. That's all.
Divorce? What are you talking about? Our child has just been born. Come on, Carl, you can't be serious. This is not right. You can't do this. Please, don't make him a fatherless child. Please, Carl.
Shouldn't you be telling that to the guy you had an affair with, not me? I'm not the father.
But...
I also got your father's support for declaring the child is not mine. But I have no relation to him.
Declare what?
Submit official papers proving that I am not the father of this child.
Huh? No. Please don't do that. I already broke off with the guy. You have to be the father or else.
Don't tell me you want to bring up your boyfriend's son, do you? Come on, Sarah, I can't do that.
But that's the only option I have. I can't be a single mom. You have to help me, Carl. Are you really going to abandon the child your wife gave birth to? Can you really do that? Don't you even have a shred of compassion in you, Carl? You can't do this. Have some pity, for God's sake.
Sarah, I know the child is not guilty of anything. He's completely innocent, but
Then why?
I have no obligation to bring him up. It's not my responsibility. Simple as that.
Then what the hell am I going to do?
We're complete strangers now. I'm not related at all to the baby of yours. There is no use asking me. Your dad has all the papers for the divorce, so I urge you to sign it and I'll be out of your life for good. After you pay the compensation amount, I'll submit the papers. So sign it. Let's get this over with once and for all.
Please, Carl.
Anything else, please go through my lawyer. Okay then, that's about it. Goodbye, Sarah. During the 8 months until she gave birth, her father apparently made all the necessary preparations. First off, the divorce went through without a hitch, and her parents paid me the compensation amount on her behalf. I was able to receive the amount in full. As for the baby, Sarah's younger sister and brother-in-law took the now single mom in, and they are bringing him up as their own. Maybe it was because all the people around her took too much care of her. Sarah took advantage of this easy situation and ended up lounging around the house, not working and even going out until the wee hours of the night drinking with her friends, and letting her younger sister take care of her son. One day, she came back from one of her vacations. She found the house empty. All there was left was a note on the kitchen table telling her the family had abandoned her and taken her son. She was no longer part of the family. As for her son, she had long signed over custody to her sister and brother-in-law. Realizing that she was no longer wanted and that she lost everything, she disappeared into the night, never to be seen again.
Dad, I want to come home. I'm so uncomfortable living with this guy I don't know.
Huh? What are you talking about? Don't be silly, honey. Of course you know him. You're living with Mr. Fritz.
But me and him have nothing to do with each other. Why do I have to live at your boss's house? I know you said it was for my own good, but did you really mean that? You brought and left me here one day all of a sudden. Then you had all my belongings sent here? Isn't this all just a little too much? You never even asked me whether I wanted any of this.
Molly, the reason I did this is because I want you to be happy. If you live with my boss, you get to eat luxurious, expensive foods every day. Plus, all of your tuition fees for that elite technical school you've got your heart set on will be covered. Don't you think these are some pretty attractive benefits? I have my debts to think about too, you know, much as it pains me. I couldn't realize my dreams for you by myself. At least this way, you get to live the life you want, right? You understand, don't you, Cupcake? I wanted to give you a life free of worry and financial hardship.
You didn't have to do that. I never asked you to realize my dreams for me. As for the tuition fees for the technical school, there are scholarships, and I could always find a part-time job and save up money that way.
Oh, Molly. What will it take for you to understand? The real world is a lot harsher and more unforgiving than you think.
Anyway, living with your boss isn't worth any of those things. I hate it here and I want to come home. He always stares at me with these creepy eyes. It makes me so uncomfortable you wouldn't believe. I feel like I'm constantly looking over my shoulder and worrying about what he'll do next. Please, Dad, I'm reaching my emotional limit.
Like hell he'd do something like that. Are you claiming my boss is some kind of weirdo? Don't insult him like that.
It's the truth. Please believe me. I don't have any friends in school, so there isn't even anyone else I can talk to about this. I feel totally alone. I'm begging you, Dad. I can't take it anymore. He sends chills down my spine. I'm not exaggerating. He's literally the creepiest guy I've ever met. What am I supposed to do?
Calm down, Molly. Okay? You think too much. How big do you think the age gap between you and my boss is? He's almost 30 years older than you. Do you seriously think someone old enough to be your dad would be interested in you in that way?
Huh? I messaged you exactly because I think that. Why are you ignoring what I say? I love you, Dad. How could you do this to me? What's going on with you? What are you thinking? I don't recognize you anymore. I'm your own daughter. I'm telling you I'm struggling and need your help, and you don't even believe me? You're the worst.
Sorry, Cupcake. I'd love to do something about it, but that's just not going to be possible given my position right now. I mean, I already moved house, which is why you have nowhere to live except my boss's place now.
What? What did you do with the house?
I sold it.
Oh my god, are you joking? That house was full of memories of Mom, and you sold it? You sold it without even telling me.
What else was I supposed to do, Cupcake? I was late on my debt repayments and they weren't gonna pay themselves. Your mom is probably cheering me on from heaven, you know? She wouldn't want to see me struggling financially.
Why didn't you even talk to me about it? Surely that was the least you could have done. That house was full of our memories together as a family. It was the only place I truly felt at home. The only place I felt like Mom was still somehow with us in some way. Why would you do this?
So you could go and live with Mr. Fritz.
Listen to me, Dad. Is there really no way I can come and live with you? Was this really just so you could pay off your debts?
Of course it was, Cupcake.
You wouldn't lie to me, right? You wouldn't hide anything from me, right?
Like I said, you're living there to help me pay off my debts. Listen, the bottom line here is that you have nowhere to live except Mr. Fritz's house. And there's nothing either of us can do to change that. You only have 6 months of high school left now. You do want to graduate high school, don't you? If you moved out now, you'd have to drop out of school. And you'd enter the world of work as a middle school graduate. Do you know what that kind of life would look like? Do you? Is that what you want? If it's not, then please get through this somehow, Cupcake. Do it for your future. You probably just feel anxious because you're not used to living with my boss yet. He's a great guy, you'll see. If you could just do your best to hold out a little longer, taking things one day at a time, I'm sure you'll get used to him. If you don't, and after you graduate high school you still want out no matter what, then I'll consider some other options, okay? I want you to remember that I'm on your side, Molly, and I never abandon you, okay? Molly! Where are you? Hey! Answer the phone now!
I won't.
What the hell did you go and do? I just heard from my boss. He said you escaped? What the heck are you playing at?
What do you mean, what did I go and do? Do you have any idea how much he terrified me? He made me go out to a fancy restaurant with him on my birthday. When we got out, he grabbed hold of my arm and dragged me somewhere against my will. Do you know where he took me? Did he tell you? You know, don't you?
Sheesh, what's the big deal? It was just some run-of-the-mill business hotel.
Which part of that hotel had anything to do with business? I can't take it anymore. I seriously can't take anymore. Everyone has a breaking point, and this is mine. Even just thinking about it is traumatic. God, he's so gross.
Fine. I'm gonna come and pick you up. Can you at least tell me where you are?
Huh? No way am I telling you.
What? Why not? How am I supposed to help you if you won't tell me where you are? I'm really worried about you, Cupcake, so you have to tell me, okay?
You help me? You worry about me? You're the one who sold me to your freaking boss. It's nothing but lies, Dad. Do you actually think it's gonna work with me anymore? I heard everything. About how you said he could do whatever he wanted to me when I reached 18. You said that, didn't you, Dad? In return for him reversing your dismissal from the company and having him take over your debt repayments. You sold him to me in return for all of that, didn't you?
Don't be ridiculous. You don't really believe that, do you, Cupcake? What kind of dad sells their own daughter?
You. It was my birthday today. You knew that when you sold me. I don't want anything to do with you ever again. You could disappear off the face of the earth and I wouldn't care. I wish you at least had the decency to get the hell out of my life before you put me through this hellish ordeal, though.
Get out of your life? You're just being silly now. Anyway, get back to Mr. Fritz's house at once. Your whining is tedious, and I'm done listening to it. Did you hear me? I said get back to my boss's house right now. Can you do this for me? For your dad? Please, Cupcake.
I won't go back, and I won't do anything you say. Someone more important than you or your boss helped me out. It's all over now.
Huh? Someone more important than me or my boss? What are you talking about? I'm your dad, which means I can do whatever I want with you. Is this how you repay me for all the time, effort, and money I put into raising you? With spite and disobedience?
I don't want to believe it, that you don't love me. It was such a shock because I loved you. And I mean, what daughter wants to accept their own dad would do something like that to them? But you know what? I'm actually pleased. Because there's nothing more reassuring than the promise of one's own safety. And I have that now. Bye.
Hey! Just you wait! Molly! President Cooper,
Oh, I see you still haven't been arrested.
I'd appreciate if I could speak to you one more time about the matter of what happened recently. I want to ask if you'll at least allow me the privilege of meeting my daughter one last time.
Mr. White, my old employee, what are you talking about? You don't have a daughter, do you?
Please, sir, respectfully. But I don't think this is the time for jokes. I'm talking about Molly. I implore you not to believe a word she says. It's nothing but baseless lies and deluded fantasy. She lost her mother at a very early age, and as a result, she's very emotionally unstable and has a tendency to say inappropriate things. That's why I need you to believe me when I tell you neither me nor Mr. Fritz have done anything worthy of criticism.
You were never any good at your job, Mr. White, and you were one of the least enthusiastic employees I've ever seen. In spite of that, I still believed in you for some reason, but I had no idea you were the kind of dirtbag who'd sell your daughter.
Sir, I must reiterate my previous point that I did not, in fact, sell my daughter.
I'm not interested in hearing your excuses. You just said Molly's claims were deluded fantasy, didn't you? Me and my wife just saw her running away from Mr. Fritz, one of our former executives and your old boss, at a hotel. If what she's saying is deluded fantasy, what do you suppose it was that we saw? Baseless lies? Emotional instability?
No, certainly, sir. You make a compelling case, and wow, I must say, you put it so eloquently, too. Truly a man worthy of the esteemed title of CEO. The problem is that the story you post seems to differ slightly from the version of events I myself was aware of.
Do you still have no idea the gravity of what you've done? You sold your own daughter to your boss for no other reason than to pay off your debts, concerned with nothing more but your own self-preservation. Mr. Fritz has already been arrested. I find the thought of people as depraved as you two working at my company quite frankly terrifying, and I will stop at nothing to ensure your total eradication from the company ranks once and for all.
President Cooper, what's going to happen to me? I won't really be arrested, will I? Isn't there anything you can do about this? You know, pull some strings, make some phone calls? You're a very powerful man, after all. Please, allow me to take this opportunity to once again apologize sincerely for my careless mistake 2 months ago that led to our company losing a major client. I swear to commit my life to serving you and this company to the utmost of my ability. Please, allow me another chance to prove myself and make all this go away somehow. I'll do anything! Being allowed the great privilege of entering this fine company was the only thing I've ever been proud of in my entire life!
Give it a rest, you sniveling weasel! You prioritize your own financial well-being over your daughter's physical safety and mental health, and you call yourself a father? She's your flesh and blood. I feel genuine horror when I reflect on what you did. I feel actual insanity in your words when I listen to your groveling, sycophantic brown-nosing after the fact. Entering my company is the only thing you've ever been proud of, you say? Where's your pride as a father?
Well,
You evidently never felt any in the first place. I can't tolerate people like you. And I feel confident in saying that the majority of the other 8 billion people on the planet are with me on that one.
Are you sure this is what you want to do?
Excuse me?
I take it this means you don't care what happens to your company.
What are you trying to say?
Your company's reputation will be destroyed over this. You'll lose your position in society, and no one will want to risk doing business with you again. Because you employed someone like me. There'll be no end to the anonymous criticism and harassment campaigns you'll be subjected to. And you'll be lampooned from all angles. Everything you worked so hard to build will come to ruin. It'll only be a matter of time before you go bankrupt. However, if I remain here, that can all be avoided. You can use your power and influence to prove my innocence against these hurtful accusations. That is, Mr. Fritz did this all on his own after all, didn't he? How does that sound? Do we have an arrangement? I think you'll agree that this isn't a bad offer for you. In fact, I think you might find it quite beneficial. You're a smart man, Cooper. I think you understand what I'm saying. So what'll it be, President? Will you work with me on this?
I see. Interesting.
Not a bad idea for someone so bad at his job, huh?
Sorry, Mr. White, but the only outcome I'm interested in here is one that involves you being behind bars wearing orange.
Huh?
Please, look at this online news site. Hang on, I'll send you the link. Silicon Valley CEO rescues 18-year-old high school student is the name of the article.
Huh? What?
Seems like it's going viral. I caught a glimpse of it on both the local and national news programs too. It really seems to be doing the rounds. No names have been released. So pretty much nothing has changed at the company for me or any of the employees. Did you read the article? They're singing my praises like you wouldn't believe. You should take a look. It's very relevant to you.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Hold on a second! This has to be fake, right?
Don't you think the contents are a little too accurate for it to be fake? Not a hint of criticism or a single negative portrayal of me.
This can't be happening!
Anyway, even if my company did go bankrupt, I'd just start over and rebuild from scratch. I am in the very favorable position of having more money than I know what to do with. Not to mention the many connections I forged with key players in the industry over the years. Your fate is already decided.
President Cooper, please! I'm begging you! Please, help me somehow! There has to be something you can do! I don't deserve this!
I'm about to take these chat logs to the police station where they'll be submitted as evidence. Would you like to add anything final before I do? Forgive me for cutting the conversation short, but you're irritating me now.
Please do something! Anything! I'm begging you!
Now it's your turn. I'm selling you to the police.
My dad was arrested immediately after, and he and his old boss, Mr. Fritzl, were sentenced to hard prison time. I was so overjoyed and relieved by the news that they wouldn't get out for at least a few years that I cried. When Mr. Cooper, the CEO of my dad's old company, stepped in to help me, I asked him, "Why would you help me, a complete stranger?" As human beings, our highest priority is ultimately ourselves, and while those around us may be in trouble, they're still just strangers in the end. There's no meaning or merit to be had in helping them, right? Or so I thought. That's what I asked him, almost without thinking. Speaking honestly at the time, I genuinely saw no point in spending my time helping people I had no connection to. Mr. Cooper just said, "I know better than anyone what it feels like to be overwhelmed with gratitude and joy when someone helps you in your hour of need." And with no further elucidation, dropped me off in front of his house with his wife. Initially, it seemed like I'd have no choice but to go into a care home because I had no relatives to speak of. But Mr. Cooper's wife hugged me tightly, and through floods of tears kindly said to me, "Molly, you're more than welcome to live here with me and my husband for as long as you need. If it's what you want, of course." I accepted, and lived with the two of them for about 2 months. I'm certain it was thanks to Mr. Cooper I was able to stay there, and I'll be eternally grateful for the way he was there for me when I needed a helping hand more than ever. This all happened a few years ago, and now I'm working happily at Mr. Cooper's company, which he renamed and relocated not long after the whole Mr. Fritzl incident. The new HQ isn't too far from Mr. and Mrs. Cooper's house, which gives me great peace of mind in the event that there's any kind of emergency. He stressed empathetically that I didn't have to work at his company out of any obligation to him, and encouraged me only to stay if it was what I truly wanted. But what I truly want is to repay the debt of gratitude I owe to the man who saved my life. I still think about what happened back then from time to time. Back when I had no friends or a soul in the world to rely on, and even my own family couldn't be trusted. I'm so happy now that that period in my life almost feels like a dream. Now I'm blessed with a workplace that's full of laughter, a close group of friends the same age as me, and a new family. I want to continue my life with a positive, outward-facing attitude. Just like my role models, Mr. and Mrs. Cooper. Thank you so much.